Welcome to the Taiwan language episode, a podcast for learning and insights in Mandarin and Taiwanese. I'm your host, Yasmin. When we think about shipwrecks, most people picture the Titanic just like I do. A famous British ship that symbolized luxury and dreams, but tragically sank after hitting an iceberg on its very first voyage. But here is something you might not know. Taiwan has its own Titanic story. That's right. A shipwreck so heartbreaking, people call it Taiwan's Titanic. It's known as the Taiping Collision. The Chinese steamer Taiping sank after a collision with another vessel en route to Taiwan, and it left a powerful mark on Taiwan's history. Younger generations today might not be familiar with the Taiping Collision. However, many might have seen the movie The Crossing. This shipwreck is a significant historical event. At that time, the Taiping steamer became a symbol of hope for many people seeking refuge after difficult times. In 1949, during the Chinese Civil War, China has filled with chaos and instability. Many intellectuals, soldiers, and ordinary people choose to escape the conflict by boarding ships to Taiwan in hopes of starting anew. The Taiping steamer was one of those vessels carrying such dreams. Unfortunately, like the Titanic, this ship also failed to reach its destination and made a tragic fate. In 2014, director Zhang Woo made a movie called The Crossing to honor this piece of history. The movie is actually split into two parts to really tell the whole story. It unfolds through romantic storylines, showing different life experiences during that difficult time. The film follows three parts of main characters from different backgrounds who meet because of the war. Each of them is on a journey searching for hope and safe place. These characters represent real people from that era. Soldiers, intellectuals, and ordinary families, all coming together to board the Taiping steamer, hoping to find refuge in Taiwan. But sadly, not everyone made it to their destination. While the film is based on real events, the story itself has been adapted for the screen, just like the sinking of the Titanic inspired numerous books and films. The Crossing serves as a way for us to remember this important piece of history. Now let's take a closer look at the background of this tragic event. It happened on January 27, 1949, just as the Chinese Civil War was winding down. Many military personnel, officials, and civilians, loyal to the nationalist government, were trying to escape the wars and conflict, so they fled from the mainland to Taiwan. The Taiping steamer was a cargo passenger ship that was seriously overloaded and sailing at night without its navigation lights on. Unfortunately, it collided with another cargo ship, the Jianyuan, while making its way from Shanghai to Keelung in Taiwan. Because of poor safety measures and the overloading, many people could not escape in time, and the ship sank quickly. To make matters worse, the weather that night was fierce. Strong winds and waves added to the chaos, and almost 1,000 people lost their lives. with only a few survivors. This tragedy sent shockwaves through both Taiwanese and mainland communities. Well, at first, I didn't know much about the Taiping steamer incident. In fact, I had never heard of this tragic part of history. But after watching the film The Crossing, I got a chance to learn about this lesser-known chapter of our past. The movie not only helped me understand the hardships people went through during that time, but also made me think about how this history still impacts the people of Taiwan today. Especially after the Chinese Civil War, the facts of people on both sides of the Taiwan Straits became deeply connected because of events like this. The policies and situations back then led many to believe they could choose their own path and find a way to survive, only to face the heartbreaking realities of separation and loss. Back then, many people to escape the war chose to take the risk of getting on the Taiping steamer to head to Taiwan. Now in the modern world, we often hear in the news about countries experiencing political chaos, where the local political situation forces people to leave because it's no longer safe for them to stay. These people are forced to become refugees, fleeing to other countries or regions. On their journey, some lose their lives, others get sick and die, and many more suffer serious injuries due to accidents or unexpected events. I believe all they wanted was to find a stable, safe place to live with dignity. That's it. People are willing to take their lives to escape, or even board a dangerous ship, even if the chances of making it crossing to other side are only 1%. But they are still willing to take that risk. I think maybe if they stayed where they were, the chances of survival would be almost zero. Facing an uncertain future, what should I do? Stay or leave? Honestly, if I were in their shoes, I would not know what the right answer is either. History, although it's about past events, tells us about the choices people made when facing challenges and how those choices shape the outcome. More importantly, history gives us a precious lesson because human history keeps repeating itself. So, what about you? If you had a ticket for the Taiping steamer back then and you knew it was dangerous, but also knew that staying in a country meant certain doom, would you still take the risk and board the steamer? That's it for my sharing today. Now it's our Taiwanese time. When we say sink, something sink, that in Taiwanese it is dim. So when a ship sank into the sea, you can say 有船仔沉落去海里啊，有船仔沉落去海里啊。When you wanna say sand will settle at the bottom of the water, it is 船會沉佇個水底，船會沉佇個水底。沉 that means to settle or deposit. It refers to the process or something sinking or settling at the bottom. Again, sand will settle at the bottom of the water. 沙會沉佇水底，沙會沉佇水底。Next, if you want to escape chaos, that is 召喚。That refers to fleeing from disorder or conflict, such as avoiding war, 召唤. 换 here is the opposite, and 召 means go away. So 召唤 that means to escape chaos. 召唤. Next, tragedy. In Taiwanese, 悲劇. 悲劇. Now let's review today's Taiwanese vocabulary. 沉有船仔沉落去海里啊，沙會沉佇水底，召喚，悲劇. So that wraps up what I wanted to share today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like this podcast, I would be so grateful if you could leave a 5-star review on your favorite listening platform. And feel free to share this podcast with your friends. It really helps more people discover this podcast. If you would love to support my work, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Every bit helps keep this podcast going and allows me to keep creating helpful language learning resources. To enrich your learning experience, I also create a study guide in both Chinese and Taiwanese. You will get a full transcript in Chinese with pinyin and Taiwanese with both romanization and local phonetic symbols. The study guide also includes a key vocabulary, reading comprehension questions with answer keys, and a few bonus questions to help you think deeper about the topic. You can become a member to access these study guides. They are a great way to preview before a new episode drops or review after listening. And don't miss the vocabulary-rich episode, a new series released every 2 weeks on the SoundOn, Spotify, and Ko-fi platforms. Each episode highlights 10 essential vocabulary words based on that week's topic, plus 5 practical everyday sentences to help you use what you've learned with confidence. All the links and details are in the show notes below. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you will join me again next time on Taiwan Language Episode. Until next time, bye bye!